surreal kind of show, and that's what happens on TV. You gotta go up, you're the actor, you gotta go with it. Yeah. Questions? Are we opening up?
This kind of relates to what you just said. Where would you take these characters, each one of you, after, now, where would you go?
Well, I'd certainly be running the universe by now.
Where would we take them? You know, I've been sitting with an air conditioner behind me for 2 days. I thought it was the air conditioner. Where would we take these characters at this age and everything? And, you know, it's been presented before, and I would think we would now, well, I'm the Methuselah at the table, but it would be, literally, if you were going to produce it and do it, it would have to be, and forgive me, you know, Flash Gordon, there's the grandfather, the young grandfather of a young Flash Gordon, and you plot that story out. I've had funny kind of dreams when I'm talking about it. We're talking through it. My wife writes and everything, and we're joking, and we're talking about it. Wouldn't it be funny if suddenly the Hawk showed up, and I am what I am now, not, you know, in the condition or anything, and I'm a great-grandfather. I'm a great-grandfather, and Buck's grandson is in danger. Who's going to help the Hawk? But he's living with all of these hawks in a cave. That type of thing, the imagination and both ladies developing in relationship to who they are now would be very exciting. Like what they're doing now with all the action characters, the classic action characters, America and everything, and now next year, I think it's next year, it's been finished, I think, the Avengers, they're doing post-production now. I would love to see someone have the nerve, and I don't say this from ego, really, but take all of these characters that we've created and make one amalgam of all of them and put them into one movie of the week, one spectacular miniseries. I think it would be absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. It would be a writer's dream.
I know Dale would have gone to the planet of the non-aging female. She would have ended up there. I look the same I did 30,000 million years ago in Dinosaur World. You know, I want y'all to know how disappointing we were, because the setup at the end of Flash Gordon is the picking of the ring with a big question mark. And Sam and I were thinking, oh man, in a series of movies. And you know, politics is politics, whether it's show business or in the bedroom or in Washington. And it just didn't come to be. And you know, they tried the TV series, which I never saw, but I hear it wasn't that good. And they really didn't want to sort of follow in, which I think is the charm of this movie. And I hope if it's remade, they don't lose that wonderful cartoon comic book quality to it. But I would be in the planet of non-aging women. That's where
I'll be right there with you.
Where have you been?
Well, I just have to say, in response to that, you know, I'm a father of 5 kids, and when we do the next Flash Gordon,
When we do, I'll go to that.
whatever the writers have in mind, fine. I would love to be a big part of it. Obviously, there's going to be a 25-year-old Flash Gordon or that age range. Whether I'm the father or the grandfather, let me tell you something. I would respond and treat this way the same way I deal with my children now. If my 25-year-old son could not complete the task, I would have to step in and do it myself. It's true. I am kind of controlling it.
All right. First off, to say I love Buck Rogers, a great TV show. Flash Gordon was one of my favorite movies of all time.
Nice.
Excellent, right? Yeah. All right. Now my question is, I'm a sci-fi aficionado, and I watch movies and the TV shows from back in the day, and I'm wondering, Max von Sydow was excellent as Emperor Ming. He looked just like Charles Middleton. So my question is, did you guys like watch any of your old shows and try to adapt any of those characters from that time period?
Absolutely. We really felt to be faithful to the piece. We needed to bring a little bit of that, a bit of the over-the-top kind of stuff, the cartoon quality, because it's a camp movie and it's got a cartoon quality. Our producer didn't want to run us, thought it was going to be another kind of movie, serious, or I don't know what he thought. But we wanted to really stick to the director's vision and keep it very campy. And look at the lines. Plus, we have 19 hours to save the earth. And, I did not write that. We had a wonderful writer do that. So we really tried to underplay the campiness, but still have the same energy that was in the 1920s and 30s TV series. But I watched it. I know Sam did.
Yeah, Dino inundated us with volume after volume. Read this, study this.
Your comic books too.
Yes, and I did, and then I think the day before we started filming, he said, everything I told you to do, forget about it. Just be your young, naive self.
I like that. It's interesting. I didn't know about Buck Rogers, so I literally finished the shoot, and then the day I finished, it was a night-to-night shoot, finished at 6 in the morning, and then I had to be on set to do a screen test for Buck Rogers, and I didn't know anything about it. So, and then went right into production and didn't know the history or anything. So I just, but I want to share one story with you. I feel in a way that I was sort of destined to play the role. 2 years before doing Buck Rogers, I had seen a psychic. Yeah. And I said I was still modeling at the time, and I said I was thinking of moving to LA to become an actress. And I said, "Do you see me being successful?" And he said, "Yes. You're going to do something of another time period." He said, "I don't know if it's going to be the future or the past." He said, "You're going to sign a contract, and the first letter on the contract is an M." And he said, "And you're going to argue with the producers about the color of your hair. And 30 years after it, you're going to be signing a lot of autographs." Oh my God. Swear to God. And then to top it off, okay, let's go back. When I finally did get Buck Rogers, I thought, oh, well, this must be it. And I go home and I look at the contract and I didn't see the M. And I thought, oh, that isn't it. A year later, I'm arguing with the producer about the color of my hair. And I went, right in the middle of the conversation, I went, holy shit. And then I didn't even know what it was. And then I went home and I looked at my contract, and there on the corner, on a diagonal, was MCA, Universal. And I missed it the first time. And then, so here I am, 30 years later, hello, signing on autographs. But the topper of it all is I found out that the original Buck Rogers comic strip came out on January 7th. It's my birthday. Oh, no. So, if I was going to leave a message for myself or coming from another, time, yeah, I would have done that. I think that's a message to myself. This was the part I was destined to do.
I have a question for the Flash Gordon cast. What I read is that during the production, a lot of the scenes and dialogue was impromptu because the screenplay was always being changed. And was it always the intention to always steer it to the Buster Crabs cereal? Because the movie looks like it's trying to take the cereal and try to put a modern twist on it. Or was it originally supposed to be something completely different?
Well, the first time I saw it, I tried to be objective. I'm pretty hard on myself. Now, a lot of people don't know that Flash Gordon had 2 different directors, really. That Nicholas Rogue did a year and a half of
I didn't know that.
we didn't know that. Yes,
I never said anything.
we were kind of thrown into this, but Nicholas Rogue did a year and a half of pre-production, and I think he walked 2 weeks before filming. Michael Hodges stepped in. So my direction was, other than Dino hovering over everybody, De Laurentiis, was Sam, get your dialogue out before the bomb goes off. Okay, got it. Thanks for that direction. Got it. That was it. So, does that answer your question? Did I leave out a part? Did that cover all of it? Yeah, well, 2 different directors, 2 different looks. I think it was a work in progress. It evolved into that after a while. Because when I sat back and saw it, I said, okay, be objective. You don't know that guy right there. And I'm thinking, okay, if I never seen this or was part of it, what am I looking at? I'm like, wow, I'm looking at, okay, that's camp, is that serious, that's funny, am I supposed to laugh? Or are they being, so even for me to try to be objective, had two different looks to it, if that means anything.
Dino was also in the screenings from when they would show the shooting for the day. He comes out, he was furious. He came out and had a long conversation with the director. And he came out and he says, "This is not right. People are laughing. This is not a funny movie." That was the whole point. It was supposed to be. I mean, those lines are so funny.
Tell him about the box of tissues.
I don't know.
Remember, I had a meeting with Dino De Laurentiis in the trailer. He said, "I'm going to talk to you." She actually does the best De Laurentiis impersonation. And he basically told me that I'm horrible. And he's going to give me, I'm going to train in Shakespeare while we're filming. I said, okay, that's fine. And so, I was a little bit upset, taken back. And so I stepped outside, and he said, by the way, send the Melody inside, okay? So I saw Melody. I said, Dino wants to see you. And here's a box of tissues. There she goes.
Oh yeah, he's a real controlling director, which is I guess why he's still around. And he told me that I was too fat and I had to lose weight. Trust me, I was beyond much skinnier than I am today. And dyeing my hair black and shaving it and dyeing his hair yellow and putting a mask on Peter Wingard, who at the time was a very dashing Secret Service. Had a Secret Service series in New York or in London, and he was very dashing. Covered his face, shaved Max von Sydow's head. Dino wanted to have his fingers in everything, even if his ideas were not what worked. And I think Mike Hodges had the right sort of light sense of humor. And as did the writer wrote. I mean, he wrote those goofy lines. So,
But in defense of Dino, I'm a former Marine before I was an actor. Dino really was motivating and inspiring as a Marine Corps drill instructor. But usually my Marine Corps drill instructors, after they were done ripping into you, you basically knew that they loved you and that they would lay their life down for you and vice versa. Dino gave you a few grains of that, but you weren't quite clear where it was going afterwards.
Interesting. I met Dino once, and I had one of those faux pas moments where instead of saying hello, I said goodbye. I think my radar was like, oh God, I don't want to do something wrong. This is not the person I want to work with. So,
Oh my God.
just justified my life.
He really brought, if you were hiding anything false or any hidden agenda, he had a way of looking at you with a 5'6" frame.
5 foot.
Oh, barely.
5'6" in height.
5 pounds.
With these wrinkled Italian suits, because he worked so much he slept in them, and that voice and the way he looked at you, whatever hidden agenda you had, it came out, man. Okay, you couldn't help it.
That was me.
Yes,
Goodbye.